Okay, well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Thanks for joining us. My name is Jason Walls from CloudShark, and I'll be showing you today how you can use CloudShark with your Meraki dashboard. It's one of our premier integration features. There's a lot of tools that work with CloudShark, but Meraki is probably the most ubiquitous and straightforward way of doing things. So what I'll show you today is setting up your Meraki dashboard to be able to upload to CloudShark and how that works, where you can do a capture in your Meraki dashboard, and then how to use their filters and our filters and a couple of our other analysis tools. All right, well, those are really the basics, so let's dive right in. I'm not a big one on slides, so we'll get right into your dashboard. So this is the Meraki dashboard, but what I want to show you first is here's CloudShark, and if you go into preferences, under API tokens is this code right here. This API token is what you will need to put into your Meraki dashboard in order to be able to upload to CloudShark. So to do that, you go to network-wide general settings and scroll down to the packet capture section. I've already set it up here, but what you want to do is paste this in here. And actually what I'll do is change this so you can see what happens. So down here it'll ask you to save, and make sure you actually save your unsaved changes or else it won't apply. But I've already put my API key in here, and then the CloudShark URL, if you're using CloudShark online, you want to do HTTPS www.cloudshark.org. The www part is necessary. Or if you're running CloudShark Enterprise in your own network, then you would put your CloudShark URL in there. Once you've done that, if you go to network-wide and under monitor, you'll see packet capture. And in the output drop-down window, you want to select stream to CloudShark. Now, Meraki has a maximum capture time of 60 seconds, and that can generate a pretty big capture. It should be okay if you have a CloudShark business account or better, but I'm going to shorten that so that we don't sit here for 60 seconds. And I'm just going to start a capture. And then after the capture is done, you see View Capture on CloudShark. You just click on that, and it has been uploaded to your system. And you can see the file name is a little lengthy here, but if I were to go back into my capture list view, you can see that it showed up right here. And as you can see here, these are all Wi-Fi frames, only because I wasn't sending any other traffic over the network. But one of the immediate things you can do here, if you do want to look at the Wi-Fi frames, is if you go down to our wireless networks tool. So here in our lab at QA Cafe, we have a lot of Wi-Fi networks going. So you can see them all here, or you can sort by the signal ratio. So if you were doing this to try to find some rogue APs, you can find them in here. This is the basics of our wireless tool. And if you want to pop that in a new window, you can take this URL and send it to somebody, and they'll see exactly what you're seeing. So let's go back to the capture for a second. One of the things you can do in your Meraki dashboard is actually view the wireless clients. I only have 2 going right now. We have this iPad here, and another MacBook Pro that just popped on. And so if you want to just see the results of one, you can come in here and you can actually get to the packet capture view from looking at a client. And when you do that, it's going to automatically fill in a filter expression. And these filter expressions are different from what you would traditionally do in a Wireshark filter. The syntax is a little different, but this will put a filter on which packets are captured rather than which packets are viewed later. So what this has done is automatically made a filter to only look at the MAC address of that particular client. But I also don't want to see all of the wireless beacons, so I'm going to say and port 80, so we can just see the web traffic. And again, you got to do stream to CloudShark. It is unfortunate you do have to select that every time. And I'll just set this for 6 seconds. And here I'm on my iPad, and I'm just going to start a capture and refresh a page here. Now I'm going to view that capture in CloudShark, and you can see some nice TCP data here. HTTP, let's say I only want to see the HTTP stuff, and type in a filter here. And if I want to send that filter to somebody else, it's now in the URL up at the top. So from here, you can do a lot of the traditional tools you might be familiar with in Wireshark, like follow stream. Here you can see one of the particular HTTP requests, but you can also go into our HTTP analysis tool. And you can see this is our object viewer. It was only for 6 seconds, so it probably didn't catch the whole page, but let me try that again with a longer capture. So the interface for the Meraki capture does have a couple of interesting caveats. One is that you do have to refresh this page after you've done a capture and change some of these things. So we'll go back and say, I only want in port 80, and then we'll go to 10 seconds. Actually, why don't I do it without port 80 so you can actually see? We'll put the filter in after the fact. No capture for 10 seconds. Now if we come here, you can see all this, and the Wi-Fi frames should still be in there. So if you go up, you can see that the filters autocomplete. I just look for WLAN stuff. Oh, well, I guess this is all over the WLAN. So anyway, let's go back to our HTTP analysis. Let's go back. Okay, and you can see a lot of the objects here. These images weren't very interesting. Apparently the Disney website is not that interesting. But I can also go into, say, ladder diagrams and pick this conversation here. And you can see a view of the entire conversation. And like I said, all of these, if you take the URL here and share it, you'll see it. All right, so I did mention some caveats with the packet capture here. While the CloudShark API will report back certain errors, such as if the file is too large or you've exceeded your quota, unfortunately the Meraki dashboard won't necessarily catch that and just give you kind of a generic error. So if you do see an error come up, it might be because the capture was too big or there's no more room. Those are usually the two most common problems. Okay, the one other thing that I do want to show you is that if you are looking to kind of organize these, let's say you have many different Meraki devices that you want to do capture on. Under your API tokens, you can actually make a new token. So if I want to make that Meraki AP5, and I want to automatically apply a tag that says Meraki AP5. and I hit create, if I use this token, we'll go back to network-wide general settings. If you scroll down again to the packet capture section, if you put this API token in there and save changes, now if I do a capture, so I'll capture on that client again. Select stream to CloudShark, just capture for 6 seconds. Now this capture, if you go into more info, you'll see a tag here, and the tag has Meraki AP5, but of course going into that view isn't necessarily that useful, so if we go to the list, you'll now see that the tag shows up here. So if you had a great number of different APs, you could set up a different API key for each one with a different tag, and then you'll see them show up in the capture list view, and that will help sorting. So, if I had 100 or so captures in here, it'd be nice to be able to sort. So you can come here to search and search tagged with, and here you can see Meraki AP5 shows up, and now you'll see only that capture. Now, one other thing to note is that internally what we have here is a Meraki access point, but this will obviously work with all kinds of different Meraki systems. The interface might look a little different for you depending on if you're using a Meraki network switch or some other piece of equipment, but it should work with most Meraki systems that support this packet capture. All right, so those are really the basics. If you have any questions, like I said, just type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar dashboard there, and I will get to them. Yes, for those people who did show up late, I am recording this, and we'll put this up on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel can be found here. CloudShark Appliance is the channel name. And for those of you asking, I'll send you a direct link to the recording once it's up on YouTube. So yes, obviously CloudShark is not unique to just Meraki captures. There are a host of other things you can do with CloudShark. So if you do have an account, there are several other ways to get captures into CloudShark. Reset the filter here. You can see all these captures that I've had here. The most direct way is, so I showed you the API key. That API key is used with our upload API. And so if you have any other tools that make use of that upload API, you can use them to get captures into CloudShark using that API key. But the most direct way to get captures into CloudShark is to take some and drag them and drop them right into CloudShark. And I'll actually go to the nasa.gov capture just so I can show you the HTTP objects from before. You can see there's a lot of stuff here. I bring up a picture. There's a picture that was captured. So if you are a Meraki MSP, you can use a single CloudShark account for multiple customers. Just be aware that you might run into some of the limits fairly quickly. And you can also get CloudShark Enterprise if you're a Meraki MSP, and set it up yourself and give your clients your own accounts to your own system.